Okay? Right. So all of you can face this side. You can cross your legs, because when you cross your legs, you can sit in that position for a longer period. And I am very happy, and I am so happy to see most of you who are regular learners, who come to decided to come today and observe the precepts. So that is very, very good. Very fortunate. You have to think of yourself. If you keep looking here and there, that means your concentration is not there. So you are not mindful. Have you heard the word mindfulness? A person with good mindfulness won't be looking at this one, what that one is doing. But the speaker is speaking, but his mind is somewhere else. Is that mindfulness? No. So mindfulness is you are in the present moment. What is the present moment? Listening to the speaker. So when you are in the present moment, you can listen well. Then you can understand well. And then you improve your concentration. What is concentration? Whatever that I teach, you listen and you gain that knowledge. Right? So that's the way to gain knowledge. Now when your teacher is teaching at school, what happens? Some people, but I know teachers won't let you do that. But some people think something else. So your eyes are on the teacher, but your mind is somewhere else. You are thinking about something that happened yesterday, or maybe some incident that happened at home, or something to do with your anger, something somebody said something. So your mind will be working like that. And is that going to help you? No. So the mindfulness means you are in the present moment. What is it? You are in the present moment. And you must have noticed when you study, you really study well when you are in the past or the future or the present. Present. So you must practice and train your mind to be in the present moment. Then you can reach good results, higher results. If you want to become a winner, or if you want to become a leader, or if you want to do well in life, study well, perform well in your work. What is the most important thing? To be mindful and be in the present moment. Those people who don't train to be in the present moment, they are going to find it very difficult to study. Because the moment they look at a book, they do it to cheat their parents. And so they read the book, but where is their mind? Somewhere else. Isn't it? So your mind and body both must be together. Your body should know that you have the mind and that your mind is here. Remember how we did during the mindfulness workshop? You bring your mind to your body. Home. You bring your mind home. Home is your body. And then you know that you're concentrating, you're reading, or you're listening. So that's the way to do well in your studies. Everything, even sports. See, if you don't concentrate in your sports, what happens? See, you are playing volleyball. Whatever the games that you play, say netball, someone's playing netball. And if your concentration is not right on what you are doing, do you think you can reach the goal? No. So see how important mindfulness is? Don't be lazy. Some people want to sleep when they come here. They are very sleepy. That's because they slept. They didn't sleep till very late last night. So those people are not alert. So if you think you feel very sleepy, you have to take a drink of water. Right? And bring some energy to your body and say, no, I must get over it and I must make this conversation interesting to me. Otherwise, if it is boring, if you think, oh, that is boring and I don't want to learn. And if you have a negative approach, what happens? You feel more sleepy. Okay? So you must be positive with what you are listening and what you are doing. Be positive with your learning at school as well. That's the way to do well. Okay? So if you are getting lower marks in certain subjects, and if you think you're failing and you're not really doing well in class, tell me the reason why. You know, you yourself know why. If you are not doing well in your work, what is the reason? You think I'm dumb? That is not the case. No, that's not the case. What is the case? Tell me. You are not mindful at all. When the teacher is teaching, your mind is somewhere else and you are not interested. So you just take it for granted and you just go home. And even after you go home, you are not bothered to go and read what you learn. Because the people who really achieve well and do well in their life, they are really mindful. And they are energetic. And they are not lazy. Right? They are not lazy. They like the subject. They enjoy what they are doing. And those people do really well. So similarly, learning the Dhamma is also like that. So Buddha says now the people who learn the Dhamma, you learn it just like you practice a sport. It takes a long time to practice a sport, isn't it? To gain confidence in whatever the sports you are playing. Isn't it? You can't just go and play a sport and win, can you? People work hard. They have to go. They have to train themselves. So by doing that, then they become confident in what they are doing. Similarly, in learning the Dhamma, it takes time. So that's why you come here. You are very positive and you know that you can learn something really well today about the Buddha's teaching. And why are we learning Buddha's teaching? Why do we have to learn the Buddha's teaching? It is just because you all are Buddhists? Or just because your parents ask you to come? Why are we learning Buddha's teaching? You have a goal. You have a goal in life. Okay, what is the goal in life?
To reach Nibbana.
To reach Nibbana. Very good. And in order to reach the goal in life, to reach Nibbana, what do? You have to work for it. You can't just attain Nibbana without working for it, isn't it? So gradually, as young children, you come here and you learn, you listen to the Dhamma. Not only listening, you practice the Dhamma, and when you go home, when you go to school, you put those good qualities into action. So what is the good thing about learning Buddhism?
You learn how to concentrate. It helps in life.
Yeah, that is meditation, helps you concentrate and achieve your goals because you can purify your mind. What other benefits can you gain by coming to SIL programs, Dhamma school, learning the Dhamma? And when you practice, what is the benefit you gain? Ping, yeah, good. That is kusala, or in English we call merits. Very good. And not only merits, we are learning and practicing the Dhamma because by practicing the Dhamma, it leads us to a good life, a happier life. What is it? A happier life. When you practice Buddha's teaching, the qualities such as the bad qualities such as anger, greed, jealousy, what else? All those bad qualities you can call, all that reduces gradually. And when you reduce those bad defilements and gradually when you reduce them, your mind gets purified. Right? Your mind gets purified, and that purification helps you to be happy, live well. Because when you don't have your bad qualities in your mind, you don't get angry with people. You don't feel jealous of other people. You don't hurt other people. So you become really serene, beautiful, lovely children. And not only that, so when you're pure and when you're nice and when you're practicing your virtues, your parents are happier, isn't it? People around you become happier. Then people at school, whoever that associates such people, they become happier, isn't it? So you give happiness not only to yourself, you give happiness to others, isn't it? So you give happiness to others as well. Right. Now when you're drinking, you drink and leave your bottle aside. Don't keep that in your mouth all the time. Right? and don't keep turning here and there looking at other people, because that is going to distract other people. Okay, Puta, very good. So otherwise that's a bad merit, because if you keep looking at others and if you don't let others listen and you are disturbing, that becomes a bad merit on your side. Okay? So we don't want to get bad merits. We want to accumulate good karma today, isn't it? So you all are very lucky, very fortunate, and very good children, very nice children to have come today. See, there are so many children in the Dhamma school, but just a few decided to come, isn't it? One good thing is your parents, because they want you to do well, right, in life. And the other thing is you yourself came here. So that is a good thing, okay? So you have to consider yourself really good. Give a well done and a pat. Okay? Okay. So, now last month and the month before, we spoke about many topics. Do you remember the topics that we spoke about? Okay, I'll give you a summary, right? I'll give you a short summary of what we learned. First we spoke about the Chandala Sutra. Remember the Chandala? Chandala means boisterous, naughty person. So when you practice what the Buddha says in the Chandala Sutra, you become a good person. So the opposite of it, right? Okay. So here Buddha says, he speaks about 5 qualities of the lotus-like lay follower. Now remember the flower lotus? That's how the lotus-like lay follower. How is the lotus-like lay follower? It has to become person like a gem of a lay follower. Gem is the highest, no? Highest in value. So the gem has the highest in value, and the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha also we call the triple gem. So the Buddha wants the lay follower also to be like a gem. See? How can we become a gem, such a worthy person, such a good person, an expensive person, worthy person, isn't it? Gem. So the person like a gem, they have these good virtues. The Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha are high, very high in virtues. Not only the virtues, what about their wisdom? Their knowledge is very high, right? So, lay follower also has to be like that, very high in their virtues. Never mind you are a lay follower, you don't have to become a monastic, but still your qualities have to be really high. Just like the Visakha Upasika for the girls, and also Ane Pindusi too. And Chittaka, there were so many good male lay followers and female lay followers. Sumana, Mallika, all that were good lay followers. So those are the examples that were given. So now what is this special qualities endowed with these 5 qualities? The lay follower is a gem of a lay follower. That person is very good. What is it? Has confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. That's the first one. Confidence or faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So if you have no confidence, if you have no faith, you will not come here, because you think, oh, what are we going to learn there? Is it going to work? How can we believe in the karma? We can't even see the karma, isn't it? So you think, oh no, we can do anything. Why should we practice the 5 precepts? And we can break the precepts, and who knows who is going to be born in another life. So you don't believe, you have no confidence. And such a person can get up to so many bad mischiefs, conduct. Alright? So the first one is confidence. What is the second one? That is very important. Now try and remember. Second one is confidence. What's the second one? Virtues. Always this confidence and virtues are the first 2 in most of the Buddhist teachings. Right? Confidence and next the virtues. Right? Right. And then what's the third one? What are the virtues? 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, likewise. Okay? It keeps going higher. Now the third one is is not eager for protective charms and ceremonies. So that person is not superstitious. You know what that means by superstitious? You believe in so many omens and things like that. Right? So, and then the fourth one is that person trusts karma. Believes in the karma. There is that if I do something good, good results will come. If I do something bad, bad results will come. And more often, and when you don't study and when you neglect your work, what are the consequences? You fail exams. And if you do your studies and you listen to your teachers and work hard, what are the consequences? Good results. So, remember, karma is also like that. That is also kind of karma. Because you do the right thing, you attend to the right thing, and you harvest good results, right? Okay. So that is very important. Then the fifth one is seeks within the Sangha for a gift-worthy person. So always when they are doing offerings, they look for the Sangha, within the Sangha first. They don't go to other religious groups first. First the Sangha, and the offerings are always to the Sangha, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, Buddha first, then the Sangha, right? So that's the lay follower, a good lay follower. So the good lay follower must have the precepts, must practice the precept really well. Then we spoke about moral shame and moral fear. Do you remember that? Moral shame and moral fear. What is moral shame and what is moral fear? It is called Hiriya no Tappa in Pali. Now see, they are in the 5 precepts, right? So here, the opposite of moral shame. Now moral shame is a wholesome action. Having moral shame to do wrong things like adultery and stealing. Now you must have a moral shame, no? And also, moral shame is wholesome. And the opposite of moral shame is unwholesome, right? So the fear to do things, moral shame and fear for blame. So your fear of getting blamed from others, that is otappa, moral fear, right? Moral fear and moral shame. So you don't engage in wrong deeds that the wise doesn't agree. Okay, right? So the thing is, for young people who are living in a Western society, in a Western country, you have to understand the ethics of Buddhism, the moral shame and moral fear. What do we call moral shame and moral fear according to our Buddhist tradition and also according to our culture? The reason is the society where we live has freedom, isn't it? Lot of freedom. So when you know what is moral shame and what is moral fear, then you understand this is not right for me. If I do this action, this is not good for my parents, for my teachers, for the religion I practice. And then you keep avoiding those moral shame activities with moral shame and moral fear. Now do you understand what I am trying to say? Okay. So that is one thing we learned today, right? Not today, last week. We did this in great detail last time. So today I am going to talk to you about, now we engage with the, come here, space, okay. So we are talking about moral shame and moral fear. Were you here when I was talking about it? You know the 5 qualities of the lay follower? We said that. And we were talking about moral shame and moral fear, and that also comes in your 5 precepts. Moral shame and moral fear are wholesome actions. So you avoid doing wrongdoings, thinking that this is not good for me. If I do attend to this shameful thing, it's not good for my parents, and it's not good for my reputation, for my teachers and the religion that I practice, and you keep avoiding that. And moral fear also, the fear of doing wrongdoings, because we have to learn what is good and what is bad through the precepts. Facing this side, everyone, sit up nicely across your legs. See, this ayah is sitting beautifully. Cross, sit down nice. And right, so we have to practice this moral shame and moral fear, because we are living in a free society. The society where we live has enough freedom. So we know our limits, what to do and what not to do. Because if we break the limits, we are in big trouble. Not only in big trouble, we are through the society and family, also you will be committing sins. Right? So we have to remember that. You know what committing sins means? Unwholesome things. Right? So that when you commit sins, bad results will come after you. Because I know one lady told me, someone living in Sydney, her sister's husband, she met with an accident. Right? After the husband met with an accident, and after he met with an accident, now he's like a cabbage. He can't eat, he can't talk, he can't do anything, he's in a nursing home. He was such a healthy person, well-to-do person, right? But now he's a cabbage. There's nothing anybody can do for him. So he's just fed through the tubes, and he's like that. So they have somehow gone to a horoscope reader, and even before telling anything, that person has said, this one has done a lot of bad deeds in his previous lives. Killing animals, cutting into pieces, and selling, and that kind of activity. Could be someone to be really healthy and someone to suffer like that. There has to be something, because it can't be a God's creation, because if God created us, everyone must everyone must enjoy equally, isn't it? Healthy and wealthy as well. Healthy and wealthy, but it is not the same. So we have to believe in the karma. And also when we see the past, people dying, and after they die, some people in very early life, they talk about their recollecting their past lives, and they talk about their previous parents and so on. And then so what the parents do is, very quietly they try to find out who this family is and who lives like this, and then when they have gone out of the way to find these people, the story is true. And the young person also tells, yes, this is my mother, this is my father. And they also recognize that we also had someone who died some time ago. And so the stories match. So it has been like that for a long, long time. So many children, many people had read these stories. So there is no way that we can say that we can't believe in rebirth. And we can't believe karma. For your level, you may not understand karma, whether it's true or not. But a person who attains Sotapanna, who attains the first stream entry, understands karma and vipaka really well. To that knowledge, to that wisdom, you can understand. Okay? So there is no point us telling and thinking we can't believe it, and how can this happen, how could this happen. So it's a matter of believing until you learn it yourself, until you understand it yourself. So when you learn the Dhamma, when you practice the Dhamma, you will see, Buddha's teachings, these things are really working. Right? So Buddha says, Hipasika, he says, come and see. And the Sandittika is what? You can see it yourself, understand yourself, and realize yourself. That is how the Buddha is done, Buddha's teaching. Not like that God's telling, now this is this is that, and this happens like this, and you believe that. Buddha says, don't believe. You believe it yourself. You figure out yourself. So you practice this and see whether this is right or wrong. And when you know that this is right and this is working, this is understood, then you have this great confidence on the Buddha's teaching. Do you understand that now? Right? So now today's what I'm going to talk to you about, learning about the right and wrong. Now, in our day-to-day life, in our usual time, how do we know what you're doing right, or whether it is right or wrong? Whether you are doing a good thing or a wrong thing? Can you tell me? How can you say that the things you perform is right, the things you perform is wrong? How do you figure out yourself? Do you think everything you do is right? Then how do you believe it, whether this is right and wrong? Okay,
Because when you do something right, usually something good comes out. Like if you study, like you said before, if you study you get good marks on your test. But if you do something bad, like, I don't know, use harsh words, then usually at school, then usually the teacher would come and give you a consequence for that.
So that way, by action, by doing, you know that it is right and wrong. But before doing, how do we know? Now this is the thing, we attend to things without knowing sometimes, and we really don't know whether it is right or wrong. But how are you going to figure out to do something, if I do this? Now here, this is what the Buddha says, right? So now, because sometimes the good and the bad changes from person to person and also from country to country, right? So what we may consider right may look bad or not right to some others, right? So therefore, we should learn to decide on what is good and what is bad in proper way, so to suit our culture, our country and our religion. Okay. So one day the Buddha asked Samanera Bhikkhu Rahula. Do you know Samanera Bhikkhu Rahula? He was only 7 years, like very young people here. Who is 7 years? Put your hand up if you are 7 years. 6? 7? How old are you, Ranudi? Now you are 8.
9.
Now you are 9, okay. Okay, no 7s. See, even younger than you people, right? So he became a bhikkhu. Do you remember the story of Rahula, Venerable Bhikkhu Rahula? Just 7 years younger than you also. And he was wearing a robe and practicing the Dhamma. He was Buddha's son, Prince Siddhartha's son. Right, so Buddha says to Samanera Bhikkhu Rahula, what is a mirror for? Why do you use a mirror? When do you use a mirror, Rahula? Said, Venerable Sir, to look at myself, to change my looks. That's what we use a mirror for, isn't it? So then Buddha says, in similar way, you should look into your life. What is it? Look into your life with a clear mind and correct yourself. Preach the Buddha. The Buddha said, if you engage anything that is not good for you, not good for you or for others, do not do it. Now here we can decide. Now this is how the Buddha says. If whatever the action you are doing is good for you and good for the others, then Buddha says it's good for you, good for the others, and if it benefits you and others, do it. Understand? So any action that is not good for you and not good for the others, then he said, don't do it. Right? So that is how you select good and the bad. So if you steal, is it good for you? No. Is it good for the others? No. Then don't do. Okay? If you lie, is it good for you? For the others? No. Then don't do it. Okay? So similarly, you can look at all the good and bad actions and then perform. So now how do we decide whether some action is good for us or bad? Whether it's good for you, good for the others, and if it benefits both you and others, do it. If it's not for you, not good for the others, not good for both, then don't do it. Now try and remember that. That's how we are going to figure out what is, because sometimes we may be deluded and we might think now this is good for me. I feel this is right. But it may not be right to the other person. But you do that thing. You think it's right, but you don't think about that person. So that is the time we get into problems in society, isn't it? Because that is not right. Even though I think this is right for me, only myself, it may be not right for the others. So then don't do it. Easy, no? Very easy to understand. And then, so if the Buddha says, if you engage in something that is good for you and others, then it becomes a good deed. You can engage in doing it. And this was the way how the Buddha defined good and bad. So you know now how the Buddha defined good and bad? Okay, now finish drinking and leave your bottles aside. Okay, now keep listening, okay? So before doing something, you have to think whether it would have a bad effect on you in any manner. This deed affects badly on others. This bad for you and others in any aspect. This be bad for you and others in any aspect. Thus the Buddha taught Bhikkhu Rahula how to differentiate between what is good and what is bad. So we should try to engage in deeds that the wise men would consent us and receive praise from the wise men and women. This is how the Buddha has said. And it is so always whatever that we perform, we should see whether we receive good comments from the wise. So who are the wise? Who can be the wise? Receive comments, good comments.
The bhikkhus and bhikkhunis?
Yeah, bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, who else? Your parents, teachers, adults, grandmas, grandparents, and if they think that you are doing a good thing, that is the wise person. Because they have long life experience. Throughout their life, they have experienced these qualities. Okay? Right. So, according to the Karaniya Sutra, most of you are familiar with Karaniya Sutra, it says, never engage in wrong deeds and work that bring shame, whereby the rest of the wise people would approach or blame. Right? Yachakuddam samachare kinchiyena vinyu pare upava deyum. So that is what it says. Okay? And we have another nice sutra. In the sutra is called Adipateya Sutra. What's the name of the sutra? Adipateya Sutra. It's in the Anguttara Nikaya. The Buddha mentioned 3 things that should think before doing anything. So before doing anything, there are 3 things that we have to think. So we are still talking on the topic of moral shame and moral fear, right? Okay, so the first one is Attadipateya. That means to think of oneself, who you are and what you are, and when one reasons. So you know how to reason out, and I think I belong to a good family. So I should not indulge in unwholesome deeds, nor earn my living as a fisherman or a hunter or a butcher. I know you people don't do any of these things. Selling alcohol or drugs. Then think of your family respect and engage in doing things that would not hinder any of these things and breaking the 5 precepts. So whatever you do, you think of avoiding these wrongdoings. And this is called right livelihood. In the 8 Noble Path, there is livelihood, right livelihood. So that is what you call the right livelihood. Okay? So get rid of unwholesome doings and purify your mind. If you are a student, think of your mother, think of your father, your family, your teachers, and in order to maintain their self-respect. Otherwise, it would be lost. Okay? So, Attadipateya is very, very important for young people. This was taught for bhikkhus. You know, bhikkhus have different virtues. They have different virtues. But for laity, people like you, young children, now these are the things that you should refrain from. Okay? They are really good and they are for your own happiness. Right? So, to feel ashamed to do evil is hiri. And to fear to do evil is otappa. Right? Hiri is evident in those who value their honor and dignity. Do you have Do you value your honor and dignity? Yes, to a great extent, right? And Othappa is evident in those who respect their parents, teachers, friends and relatives. So when you respect your teachers, friends and relatives, you avoid those. When I used to go to school, I was like you, young person. A lot of kids used to do naughty things. They used to do really naughty things. So sometimes you think about it and sometimes you feel, they are really fun. Why can't I also do? Sometimes you feel, when others do. Then what happens? All of a sudden, this moral shame and moral fear comes to your mind, isn't it? And then you think, no, I had to think of my parents. I had to think of myself, my teachers. And then you try avoid those things. So that is what you call moral shame and moral fear. So that will protect you. And we call moral shame and moral fear the guardians of the world. Why are they called guardians of the world? Because they guard you. And if people don't have moral shame and moral fear, what can the society be? Just imagine if you don't have moral shame and moral fear. If you have no fear for shame, people will be like who? People will be like who? Animals. Isn't it? They won't behave like humans. They'll behave like animals because they go up and with anyone. They can do anything they like. They can just breed everywhere. Yeah. When you don't have moral shame and moral fear. So that's why they are called the guardian of the two guardians of the world. Okay, remember that. The two guardians of the world, the protectors of the world, they are called. So there will be a time there won't be any moral shame and moral fear of the people. And when that time comes, the age limit will decline to 10 years. And people will be misbehaving everywhere. The family members, that's how the Buddha has said. It is coming, it will come down one day. It is gradually coming down. So it is our duty to teach at least the people who come and listen so that you avoid those misbehavior and misconduct. Right? Okay? So then another person will think, the educated person will think, we are learned persons. We should feel ashamed of unwholesome acts of doing bad deeds. And we must refrain from killing and stealing. The aged person will think, they're older, mature like me. We are old and enough to be mature and wise. If we commit evil, we will come into shameful situations. And so we need to avoid. So we have to value our honor and dignity. Then that is the first one. The first one is called Adhipateya. So you look at yourself as a holder, right? Then second one is Lokadhipateya. Loka means Loke. You know what? The world. Those who are considerate of others. Now if you are considerate of others will reason, if I do evil, my friends, relatives and teachers will be blamed because of me. Therefore I will not do any evil. I will avoid misdeeds. Avoid such deeds the wise could criticize. Thoughts of action to do with renunciation or detest. Kind harmlessness. And this is a fine example of Othappa. Okay? So they are the two great guardians of the world. They are called Lokapalaka Dharma, protecting you from immoralities. So they are pure and wholesome ideas known as Sukha Dhamma. So they are great. And they are virtues as well. Those two are good virtues as well. So these two Dhamma keep human beings in moral discipline and moral restraint that distinguish them from animals. Without Hiri and Othappa, mankind will sink into evil depths and be reduced to the state of animals. Today, many people are void of moral shame and deeds so that they dress, eat and behave indecently. If this moral decay continues to proliferate, the world will soon end in complete ruin. For mankind will turn into animals. See? So now the Buddha's teaching, see how beautifully he has done. And even the Devas in the Deva Dharma, you know the Devas who practice, who are being born in the higher realms, they have this moral shame and moral fear. They have practiced to a great extent. I will be talking about it later, right? Right. So if you do anything with a happy, pure thought, it brings you merit. So that's why we say when you attend to Buddha Vandana, do it with a happy thought, a good thought, and you receive boys, you receive merits. Okay? And if you act unpleasantly with an unpleasant thought, such an action brings a bad result or a sin. Okay? So you make it a profitable day. You know what a profitable day means? When you come to observe Sil on the Sil day, you try and make it more profitable for you. So what does it mean by profitable? Gaining money? Then what?
You gain more knowledge out of it.
More knowledge, and also by gaining knowledge, practicing, you gain merit. So that's the best you can do on a day like this. So this is why we say, don't speak, no useless talk. Don't talk. Are you listening? Sit down and keep listening. Okay? Keep listening to that. So if you engage in useless talk today, is it a profitable day? If you, what else? Use harsh speech, is it a profitable day? If you try telling lies, is it a profitable day? No. And if you run and play, it's going to be a profitable day because you have observed Sil today. Because I know sometimes when people go over there, they don't do what I ask them to do. So if you have to think it yourself. Now, the Venerable Sudhamma taught us how we should be, how to gain profits out of the day to day. The good profits. Okay? Wholesome merits. So, I am not acting as I was advised. So, if you are breaking that, you know yourself, you are not listening. You were not listening and you are not following whatever I taught you. So, you blame yourself. Alright? You have to blame yourself. But I know a lot of people here, they really follow the rules. They really follow the virtues. They practice the virtues because we have bunch of really good children here. Are really good. That's why you decide to come here today. Huh? You have been listening to Dhamma. You have been practicing the Dhamma. And it is not yet. You have 10 more minutes. You go at 9:45, no?
Morning tea.
Yeah, no, morning tea is at 9:45. It's okay, facing this side. So, if you are late, somebody will come and So I'm going to teach you a small meditation technique because it's very early in the morning. Last time also we did the breathing meditation, we did it in a very interesting way. So now you sit up and cross your legs nicely. Keep your hands in your lap facing this side. Be mindful. Mindful means mindful about yourself. When you are mindful, you don't have to look at others, what others do, how the others' hands are kept and how your teacher is looking and how the other friend is doing. That is not up to you. See, this Malli is all. Are you new Buddha? But it's doing very well. So keep your hands in your lap. Hands in lap. Right palm on your left. Shoulder straight. Nice. Back straight. Like that. In your lap. Close to you. So in a comfortable way, right? So now have your eyes closed. We are going to practice breathing meditation. So practice it really well. It's a guided meditation. And we are going to breathing. So we are going to do the technique of breathing meditation. So now breathing was, keep your eyes closed. Breathing was close to me since I was born. It is my life support. And depending how well I am, my lifespan will be long. Breathing comforts me and releases me of my tensions. I say a sigh of relief. Sometimes when things are under control, then that relates to breathing. By sending a calming breath unconsciously, I relieve myself. Now I am following that same breathing pattern that survives me as a technique of meditation. In effort, I am using my life support at meditation. What is meditation? Meditation is mental training following by progressive training. What is methodical training followed by progressive training? It is a method that has been tested for proven results and used by the wise, that has come down to us through past generations. Meditation trains the body to sit for a specific time in silence. Body gets the first glimpse of the effect of meditation. It trains to sit for the time slots recommended. Therefore, it is the body from meditation. However, meditation is both sitting and contemplating. Mind involves in contemplating now. What do we contemplate again? It is a method that has been tested for proven results and used by the wise, that has come down to us through past generations. Now the mind undergoes training. The mind is trained to behave in a manner conducive to meditation that is different to sensual behavior. Former behavior is replaced by a new behavior. Increasingly, the mind undergoes training, and while contemplating, it picks up a new set of values. Thus, this happens alongside methodical training of the body. Now the mind-body combination is in harmony with meditation and enters equilibrium. A harmony is reached with breathing meditation now. There is knowledge to support breathing meditation for contemplation. A technique of meditation is also proved for sitting meditation, like finding a suitable sitting posture by following breathing meditation. We enter methodical training and progressive training, likewise training with the mind and training with the body. What the body does, eyes closed, what the body does, the mind knows. The body is involved in breathing. The mind is aware of breathing. Mindfully, one breathes in. Hands in your lap. Mindfully, one breathes out. Without a moment to relapse, one tries to watch all in breaths and all out breaths as long as it is necessary. Then breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, relax, breathing out, relax, breathing in, relax, breathe out and relax. Now there is choiceless awareness, awareness of the present, detached observation, ever-present mindfulness, undelivered attention. Consider the simile of the gatekeeper to the city of Brisbane. The gatekeeper's job is to sit at the vantage point of the city and watch all incoming and outgoing vehicles from the watchtower of Brisbane. He can see clearly all vehicles enter the city and exit. He is not supposed to listen to music or go for walks to stretch out muscles. Foremost, he should not involve in daydreaming. He must be sharp in watching incoming and outgoing vehicles only. With that experience, he is promoted to the job of the gatekeeper to the city of mindfulness. So now you become the gatekeeper of mindfulness of your own, watching your breath. Watch whether it is. The job is even harder because attentiveness is even more demanding. So he sits at a convenient location and watches all incoming and outgoing breaths. Once you have located the breath having come to meditation, you have to say a password before withdrawing completely to do his job. Mindfully, you say while watching incoming and outgoing. So your job is to watch your breath. I understand a long breath while breathing in and out. I understand a short breath while breathing. I understand a short breath while breathing in and out. I observe a full body breath while breathing in and out. I observe calming the bodily function while breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Very beautiful. Some people are really doing well. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. When you breathe in, relax. Breathe out, relax. Breathing in, breathing out. I understand a long breath while breathing in and out. Watch whether it is a long breath or a short breath. I understand a short breath while breathing in and out. Watch it whether it's short or long. Keep your back straight, nice and straight. Observing the breath whether it's long or short. And relax your body while breathing. I observe rapture while breathing in and out. I observe pleasure while breathing in and out. I observe the mental function while breathing in and out. I observe calming the mental function while breathing in and out. I observe the mind while breathing in and out. I observe the cheerfulness while breathing in and out. I observe attention while breathing in and out. I observe release while breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out, 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 breathing in, breathing out. Okay, now you can come out of your meditation. It is so nice, it was so nice to watch certain people doing the meditation. You did very well. You did very well. 3 of you, and the girls here and there, and that one at the back. Very good. And you, Mohadage nama? Ranudi. Very good. And some ayahs at the back. Very good. Well done. And yes, some people decided to turn around and be silly, and that is not my fault. It's your own fault if you decided, right? So next time when you come back, you make sure you must learn how to sit well. Tuck your legs in and sit up nice and straight and follow instructions so that it will be beneficial for you. Some people were beautifully meditating. I was watching. I can say when I look at your face, I can say whether you are doing the right thing. Okay? You must practice at home. Likewise, all you need to do is sit down in a calm place. Just relax your body and then breathing in, breathing out, watching your breath whether it's long, and also you must learn to relax while you do it. And it gives you a lot of pleasure if you have really practiced it. Breathing meditation gives you a lot of pleasure, happiness. Okay? You must practice it. Now we have practiced metta meditation over a long period of time. So now it's time for us to learn breathing meditation. So we know so many techniques. And we did Brahma Vihara meditation some time ago. Right? And then Buddhanusati as well. So you people are very clever. Very good. So So you become very proficient meditators when you